And I want to talk to you a little bit about this election that we've got going on right now. You know, Mr. Prentice made a big discovery, and this week he announced it to the world. He has discovered, he says, that Alberta is not an NDP province.
This is a great discovery.
No, this is a setup, guys, because you know what? In fact, I agree with him. I think he is right. It's also, however, not a PC province. It's not a Wild Rose province or a Liberal province. Alberta does not belong to any political party, not even to the PCs, because Alberta belongs to Albertans. And they are going to decide. Albertans are going to decide who the next government is. Not an arrogant, entitled, floundering, and desperate PC party. Becoming increasingly clear what kind of province Albertans actually do want. And this is what they've been telling me thus far. I mean, we'll ultimately see. But first of all, I think what I'm hearing is that they want a province with a government that respects them. The people who actually hire and fire premiers and ministers and MLAs, and a government that accepts responsibility for its mistakes rather than blaming ordinary people. They want a province that protects healthcare and education. And they want a province with fair taxes instead of asking you and your family to pay more to get less, while large profitable corporations continue to get billions in tax breaks. More and more Albertans are telling me that is exactly what they are going to vote for in just a few short days. Now, more and more Albertans are thinking what we're thinking. They're thinking that it's time for new people with new ideas, time for a change in this province. The kind of change our party is offering in this election, that's what people are looking for. But you know, I'm not done talking yet about Mr. Prentice, not yet, because there's one more thing that he discovered this week. Now, only 3 weeks ago, Jim Prentice was telling us that he had to have this election now because he wanted Albertans to vote on his budget. Remember that budget? Remember that's why we all had to go to the polls a year early? You remember? Let me just remind you, the Prentice budget that cuts $1 billion out of health care, the budget that imposes a health levy that would cost your family thousands of dollars and doesn't hire a single new teacher next year. That budget, and the budget that doesn't ask Alberta's large and profitable corporations to pay a single penny to help us deal with our challenges. Because according to Mr. Prentice, the biggest corporations in Alberta simply can't afford to pay a penny more in tax. But you and your family, you can. But interestingly, and not surprisingly, that hasn't been going over super well with you. And suddenly, this election isn't about Mr. Prentice's budget anymore, according to Mr. Prentice. No. Suddenly, Jim Prentice's biggest argument for why the PC should be given yet another second chance after 44 years is this. Yet another of many second chances. As he put it, it's all about who is going to provide the stability to govern this province. Really. The stability to govern this province. Is he actually talking about the PCs? The party who has had 4 leaders in the past 4 years? The party so committed to a stable 4-year mandate that they ignored the law and called the election a year early? The party that wants to create chaos in the health system with yet another reorganization and $1 billion cut to the health care that your family needs? The party that has been running a political circus in the legislature since the last election 3 short years ago? That is the party. You know, there are many words we can use to describe the kind of government that the PCs have been giving us, but I will tell you that stable is absolutely not one of them.
How do you feel about becoming a first NDP premier of this great province, Alberta?
Well, I think that might be a bit presumptuous. You know, it's going to be the people of Alberta who make that decision on May 5th. And what I'm happy about is that people more and more are connecting their values to their vote, as far as I can see, or in terms of what they're telling me anyway. And for us, there's 2 choices. There's rehiring Jim Prentice and the PCs who are prepared to sacrifice our health care and our education and the health of your family and the future of your kids in order to protect reckless corporate tax giveaways. Or, on the other hand, there's asking folks who have been profiting to give just a little bit more so that we can balance the budget and improve our health care and make sure that our kids have teachers in their classrooms when they start school in September. So those are the options, and I'm hoping that Albertans will understand that, their family does better when all families do better. What I say is what I've been saying all along is that we're the only party that actually has a plan to create jobs in our budget. Of all these other parties, we actually have a plan to create jobs. We're talking about a job creators tax credit that would create 27,000 jobs within the first year. We're talking about working collaboratively with industry to upgrade more of our resources here to create the kind of long-term sustainable employment which is less vulnerable to the ups and downs in international commodity prices. So that's actually more jobs, not less. Mr. Prentice's plan actually has identified job cuts within it. His plan is to cut jobs. Economists from the city of Edmonton have actually suggested that his plan will hurt the economy of this city, for instance. So I think that if you're talking about jobs and you're talking about the health of the economy, our plan is actually one that's very reasonable and very focused on ensuring that we maintain prosperity in this province. And as for Northern Gateway, I need to say, Jim Prentice himself worked on that file for 2 years when he was the vice president of a bank, and he got nowhere. And I think most Albertans who've been following this see exactly what I see, which is that pipeline is not going anywhere. So we should stop focusing on something that is not likely to bring about success. What we need to do instead is collaborate and consult with industry to figure out how to most effectively focus our efforts to bring about the best results. We need to know that our focus is always on ensuring that there are good jobs for Albertans. We want people to have the capacity to support their families and build their communities, and so jobs are fundamental to that. So that's going to guide all of our decision making ultimately, and so I really believe that we're going to be able to introduce a reasoned and balanced approach to moving Alberta forward on some key issues while ensuring that we maintain the sustainability of our economy, and in particular our energy industry, because I understand that we are an economy that relies a great deal on the energy industry, and it would be silly not to always be aware of that and always know how important those jobs are to Albertans.